Studio time check is 3 minutes past the hour of 4, and today is the 19th day of April 2024. And I want to specially welcome you to the Situation Room live on Mainline 98.3 FM, the last edition of the show for the week. And I must admit, it's been a very, very engaging week. I've talked about a lot of things, from Kano to Kaduna, to Ondo State. The APC primaries is tomorrow. We're going to focus on the primaries today, by the way. We'll have Mr. Henry Olonimoyo join me all the way from Accra, the capital of Ondo State, to tell us how the town is and the expectations ahead of tomorrow. There's been propaganda at the highest level, but of course, my guest will help us understand some of these things. But again, the drama going on in Kogi State seems not to be ending anytime soon. The EFCC had declared the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Yahya Bello, wanted, and the Inspector General of Police had ordered the withdrawal of all of the policemen attached to him. And I want to believe that that would also spread across every of the sister agencies that have men attached to him. Remember all of the drama that happened day before yesterday, when the governor Usman Ododo reportedly drove into the residence of the former governor in Wuse in Abuja and took him away after the EFCC had laid siege to his apartment in an attempt to get him arrested. Well, I followed the political activity of Yahya Bello when he was governor of Kogi State, especially when he was recontesting. Remember the way he became governor in the first place. It was just a product of fate, if you want to look at it like that. Or let me just put it this way, opportunity. Prince Audu was the candidate of the APC, and he died on the day of the election before the result was announced by INEC. Of course, all of the drama, the member representing Ikeja Federal Constituency, Honorable James Faleke, was late Prince Audu's running mate, and he wanted him to be declared as the governor-elect. But in a landmark judgment, the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja stated that the vote belongs to the party, and Honorable James Faleke did not contest as a governor. It was on a joint ticket. As such, the party retains the vote, and that brought Yahya Bello being the one that came second at the primaries, and he just benefited from that process. He went ahead to recontest for the governor of the state. He won, and build up to the presidential election of the APC. Yahya Bello also threw his heart in the ring, and he wants to be the president of Nigeria. But of course, things didn't work out well. He was expected, according to his own understanding, that he would be the youngest president to ever preside over this great nation. Well, it didn't work out, and he ended up supporting the current president, that's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In fact, the campaign office of Yahya Bello in Abuja was changed, and it became the headquarters of the youth mobilization for Tinubu's election. Yahya Bello was made the head of youth mobilization in the campaign, and the president won. We came back to November 11, 2023 off-circuit election in Kogi State. Usman Ododo, that was reportedly a cousin to the outgoing governor, also from the same zone, the former statistician general of the state, got into the conversation, and there were a lot of issues around the way the primary of the APC in Kogi was conducted. So a lot of people left the party, joined the SDP, some joined the PDP, some joined the Labour Party. But at the end of the day, Usman Ododo won the election. And I remember on the day of Usman Ododo's swearing, he made a statement that if he gives anyone an instruction, and Governor Yahya, then it was a governor, gives the same person that instruction, that they should ignore his own instruction and carry out the instruction of Governor Yahya Bello. I mean, that's for a governor-elect to make that statement. It shows the level of godfatherism that played in the last election in Kogi State. And maybe all of the issue that happened, him having to drive into the apartment of the former governor and take him away to avoid being picked up by the FCC, was a show of loyalty. We've seen all of these things play out. But the next couple of days would really show how much Yaya Bello really wants to have a future politically in this country. He's a governor, he's still young. He was the youngest democratically elected governor when he became governor in the history of this country. Well, 8 years down the line, if you drive through Lokoja, drive through Okene, drive through Adavi, drive through Olamaburu, you'd understand that the state was really yearning for development. But hey, well, there's been notifications sent around all of the entry and departure points of the country, the border, the airports, and it's been said that he needs to be arrested since the FCC had declared him wanted. It's very interesting for someone that ceased being a governor just a couple of months back. You're literally a fugitive in your own country. But like Cubana chief priest started singing since he was released on bail on a 10 million bond on, and of course two shorties in like some. He said the FCC don't flog, they don't beat. That if you don't have anything to hide, once they call you, you report. And the same thing also goes to former Governor Yaya Bello. His security details have been withdrawn on the order of the Inspector General of Police. The FCC had declared him wanted. I mean, it's almost like the entire intelligence and security agency in Nigeria after Yaya Bello at the moment. But hey, how much more can he hide? If you don't have anything in your skeleton as a public officer, as a public office holder, you should open up yourself for accountability. I remember the former governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, when they were threatened that EFCC was going to pick him up, he said, "Wait, let me hand over. I would willingly, I report myself." And 24 hours after he ended his tenure as the governor of Ekiti State, he reported to the office of the FCC and he was released. So well, maybe former governor Yaya Bello should do the needful so that we can avoid all of this. Well, I told you we're going to focus on Ondo State today. Tomorrow is the primaries of the All Progressive Congress in preparation for the November 2024 off-cycle election in the state. And if you followed us in the last maybe 2 months or 6 weeks or thereabouts, I've brought in spokesperson of virtually all of the aspirants on the platform of the APC, even the PDP. The state secretary of the PDP had also joined us on the show to talk about the chance of his party as well. But day before yesterday, of course, we finished that line of conversation, and tomorrow is the primaries of the APC. Joining me on the show today is Mr. Henry Olonimoyo. I really hope I didn't murder that name. He's going to take us through what should expect tomorrow, projections, last primaries of the of APC in the states. I was privileged to go cover it, and I think the winner was eventually declared around 1 in the middle of the night. That's 1 a.m. for a primaries, not even the major election. Mr. Henry, good evening. You're live on Milan 98.3 FM in the city of Lagos.
Good evening. Thank you for inviting me. Good evening, Nigeria.
Okay, first off, this was on a very short notice, and a big shout out to my very senior colleague and friend, Mr. WG for linking me up with Mr. Henry. I just wanted someone that was first off, Mr. Henry, is it okay if I call that way? The former Minister of Communication under former President WG £ssOᴍsAᴘᴘ Franklin Wike Jr. Made a post on his verified X page, formerly Twitter page, yesterday, and he talked about Yaya Bello. He was a lord and a god in Kogi State, how everything he says and does was law. And I remember at some point also, I had the former chief press secretary to Yaya Bello in his first tenure, Madam Petra Onyegbule, joined me on the show, and she talked about working with Yaya Bello. Well, off camera, off the mic, there were a lot of things that we talked about. But what do you make of all of this drama? He was supposed to be arrested by the EFCC. There were reports that he's been invited, he didn't turn up. Then the EFCC was at his residence in WG=So in Abuja on Wednesday, and he didn't submit himself. And then after waiting for a long time, the current governor of Kogi State, Usman Ododo, drove into the residence of the immediate past governor and took him away, obviously because of the immunity that the governor enjoys. Obviously nobody can touch him at that moment. Mr. Henry, talk to us about what you make of all of that and the fact that EFCC had finally declared him wanted.
Yes, thank you very much. You see, what politics in this country sometimes begin to defy logic, because the person of Yahya Bello, this is somebody that got into power on a platter of gold. I mean, was governor without contesting an election. You remember the unfortunate incident that happened to the man who won the election.
Prince
and how, yes, and how he was the beneficiary of that. And then, and to be so young when he was sworn in as governor, one would have expected that he would have looked at that opportunity as a very golden one for him to do what is a landmark as far as governance in Kogi State, south to the north and the north down to the south. Potential to be better than it is looking. But I mean, you don't need to stay in Kogi State for 1 month for you to realize that many things are wrong, even as far as development is concerned in the state. So now bring it down now to a governor, I mean a former governor. Of course, we will also not rule out the shenanigans that happened with how the present governor emerged. And now there used to be a time when governorism was done covertly, when the person at the saddle, I mean, at the end of affairs would brag about his ability and not directly link it to any godfather. But right now, what we have seen is a sitting governor completely let people know that he's not the boss and he has a boss that is not elected and none by law. But that is where we are already. And that has also played out with EFCC asking him to come and answer for questions that they have for him. And I do not know why somebody like that will be running away from questioning. And to again see a governor abuse his immunity that is accorded to him by the law. But asking the other governor today now what is raining on the social media is that maybe Kogi State have 2 governors that are not aware of, because we will not understand why the former immediate governor of Kogi State will be invited for questioning, and by and by we are having the sitting governor shielding him, and then now you have the former governor who is wanted and the rest. I just hope that with all of these alerts going around, that the man will eventually show up and give answers. But again, if you look at what has also happened in our political history, there's every likelihood that this matter might be dragged on and eventually be solved out politically. That's what we have always had as a trend. Make no mistake, I hear people pick fights and say, oh, an end has come for him, it's a time of reckoning. I feel very strongly that some political movement or some political maneuver probably was being pushed by this man and some other people. And so as a way to deal with him or to slow him down on the path, this is what reason up. I believe, I tell people a lot, whatever is happening, whatever evolution is happening, I hope it reaches a good conclusion for the Nigerian people, but what mostly happens is it becomes political at the end and then it might fizzle out.
Okay. Before we leave Kogi State, before we get into, of course, the neighboring state, which is Ondo State, you made mention of abuse of office, and that's obviously in respect to the sitting governor Usman Ododo, that had constantly shown his loyalty. I remember when he was sworn in, his deputy actually went to where Governor Yahya Bello was sitting, and he prostrated chest down flat to appreciate how the governor then had helped them to win the primaries against all odds, a primary that almost cost even the APC the chance of winning the election, because one of the leading candidates actually went to SDP and he gave Usman Ododo a run for his money. In fact, I think Usman Ododo won with less than 20,000 votes. But let's talk about what you just mentioned, which is abuse of office. In your space of wanting to be loyal, we've seen all of these things play out. Fubara with Wike issue in Rivers at the moment, when it was Zamfara State as well some years back. It has played out in a lot of states where governors would put people in office, and when they are done, the relationship would eventually break. But who is a sitting governor of a state, a democratically elected governor of a state, not voted only by his predecessor, but voted by the good people of that state. Who is his loyalty supposed to be to? The people of the state want accountability. Over 80 billion was allegedly stolen by Yaya Bello, but the current governor is saying no, you cannot persecute him. Who owns the loyalty of a governor? Is benefactor or the people?
Now, that's why I feel that our politics has deteriorated so fast. There used to be a time when some godfathers had very good taste, in the sense that by the time they were scouting for people to maybe succeed them or people to hold public offices like this, they scout for the brightest. I mean, somebody who's a man of his own, somebody who can deliver, somebody who can speak. But you see, probably the new set of godfathers or the potential or the godfathers in the making now are beginning to learn one or two things that they won't profit them much to get people who can stand on their own, who can speak for themselves. They have decided sometimes to go so low to bring people who are probably starved of low self-esteem, people who can't tell their left from their right, people that are so far to them that cannot look them in the eye and tell them the truth, and then they have decided to see how they can package them, bulk them up, and then have them to go and run for office. And you can look through almost all the states of Nigeria and see this pattern happening. The only thing is that there have been times, many times when it has failed, because all of a sudden, by the time this person gets elected, he realizes that he's actually a governor, and he can actually buy
and he can flex his powers.
Yes, but the Kogi state might maybe prove to be a very interesting place, a unique one. Another thing Yara can tell, but it's still early days. Anything can still change in the near future. But we have seen it time and time again. You see it in Kano State. I mean, that's Ganduje versus Kwankwaso. You have it in the State, Shomole and the Ghanaians. You have all of these things playing out again and again, and it's not always smooth sail. But again, when we look at these matters, no godfather on his own can elect any person into office. On his own, he has just one vote. Even a political party on their own cannot elect the governor.
Sure.
You need the majority of votes, and that is people outside the political party, people outside your political influence who should vote. And I think people who are elected must realize again the kind of hope that they are taking on the day of the swearing, that they are swearing to defend the Constitution, to defend the interest of their people. And I feel that this is not probably ringing well for them. You have, for even years, some elected officials make some kind of statement. We're just telling you that a lot of things have gone on. I had you earlier in this show when you said what the current governor of Kogi State said when he was sworn in. And it's for me, it's pathetic to hear a sitting governor say that. So I hope that the people themselves will learn. Whenever you have somebody who wants to aspire for an office and he's basically not talking, I know I've seen it in recent times.
Yes, we saw it in Rivers State.
Even in Ekiti State. And then Professor Oleka then. When you see only the predecessor talk, I mean, the outgoing governor talking, the governor talking, and you are barely even hearing the person who wants, then just turn it down. Just turn it down. Notice it's bad market, it's damaged goods. And go for somebody who is a man of his own, somebody that can really represent the people and will not be a stooge as the case may be. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for shedding more light on the old drama going on in Kogi State. I hope the next couple of days will give us a clearer picture of what we should expect. Or maybe Yaya Bello knows that, if it turns up today, certainly will spend the weekend in EFCC custody. Thank you very much, Mr. So let's focus on Ondo State. It's really been a long journey, especially for the governor of the state. Being the deputy governor, acting governor, when the former governor eventually died, Ruti Makirudule, son of blessed memory, Loki Aiyedatiwa was eventually sworn in as the governor. But before then, there's been talks about him not seeing a political agenda, wanting to take over from his boss, that's the late governor. All of the drama that came in while the governor was away for almost a year, even though he came twice to, report himself. But at the end of the day, Aloke Aiyedatiwa became governor, got sworn in, and the story has changed. He has thrown his heart in the ring to contest for the seats of power at the Alagbaka State Secretariat. Now, there are a lot of other candidates. The current senator representing Ondo North Senatorial District, Senator Jimoh Ibrahim. Ondo South. Thank you very much. The one-time Alliance for Democracy governorship candidate, Olusola Oke. There's also Wale Akinterenwa. There's also Akinfolari. There's a lot of people. In fact, 16 people were cleared, including the governor, to contest for the primaries of tomorrow. And in the last 6 weeks, Mr. Henry, I've had spokesperson of almost all of the candidate aspirants join us on the show to sell the agenda or ambition of their principal if they eventually pick up the ticket and when they become the governor at the November election. But what do you make of the old transition that the Ondo State is looking forward to? About a year into towards the end of Akeredolu's administration, the state was not having any focus. State Executive Council meetings were not held. Development were not going on. In fact, there were allegations of forgery. The Commissioner for Energy, Honorable Obey, actually, raised issue, and he said, "Hey, the signatures of Mr. Governor is being forged. I ran a forensic investigation, and it shows that is not the signature of the governor." But all of that had gone. Aloke Aiyedatiwa is the governor. Is aspiring to continue from where his his late boss stopped. Take us through what we should expect tomorrow as the ruling APC goes on with their primaries. 16 people, former commissioner for finance, immediate past commissioner for finance, former deputy speaker, House of Reps member as well, former SSG of the state, member House of Reps currently. A lot of big wigs are in this context. What should we expect tomorrow, Mr. Henry?
Yes, thank you very much. The involving of the political scenario in Ondo State, largely on the side of the APC since last year, towards the middle part of the year, and up to now has been more of twists and turns. From a deputy governor who was battling for his political survival to becoming a governor, to the ex-wife governor, losing his own life, and then to having the cabinet, the state structure, dissolved just in one day, and then now they build up to the political primaries of the APC in Ondo State. It's been a very, very, very exciting and funny turn here and there, because we have people who had looked at this sitting governor now and felt that he was nothing politically. We have people talk down on him with so much disdain, underestimated him so much, and now he appears now he's the sitting governor, and now he's in a race to be the candidate of the APC in the next election, and he's coming against people who are part of the state executive council, like the former commissioner for finance, Wale Akinterenwa from Ondo South, Jimoh Ibrahim, the senator, Akinfolari, an House of Reps member. We have Isaac Kekeleke, national vice chairman of the APC. You have Olusola Oke, I mean, somebody who has been in the saddle running for governorship for many years also. Now, it is a real battle. If you judge by how the sitting governor started in December and early January, now it appears that the man has gained serious momentum. I mean, you need to be on ground to see now that he appears to have gained serious momentum. But if you pick each of the leading candidates, I mean the frontline candidates, everyone will tell you that they win. Of course, politicians are eternal optimists. They will tell you that they win. They also tell you that they all have the backing of the presidency. And the backing of the presidency also would also likely determine how it will swing. The president will swing tomorrow, and the choice of system that are planned for this primaries. Yes, that means across the Philippine government of Enugu State, the APC campaign members will be electing their preferred candidates. And for me, if you look at what happened in Edo State, some APC primary, where you had 3 or 4 people declaring themselves as winners before the primaries were conducted. Now, and the Edo APC politics was not even as hot and heated as Ondo State. So we hope that there will not be number one crisis. We hope that it will go on smoothly, and we don't have different winners imagining tomorrow. But as it stands, it appears that for me, the sitting governor is a major candidate, frontline one, because he has the power of incumbency, and wherever there is power, anybody in power enjoys the patriotism, the patronage of people. Everywhere he knocks, people want to answer, people want to listen to him because he's at the saddle. But again, the former commissioner of finance in the also appears to have the backing of people who feel that they belong to the political family of the former governor, who feel that they are going to fight the battle to stand still with the sitting governor, and they feel that they believe that their one candidate is the true anointed successor of the late governor. Yes, that's another candidate. And there is ᴏᴜᴛᴜ who has been a serial contestant, vastly experienced, the senior advocate of Nigeria, putting himself out. But one major thing that might stand for him is the fact that the people from Ondo South Peninsula District believe that they want somebody who can run for 8 years, who can enjoy the possibility of being in office for 8 years. Mind the sitting governor, if he gets elected at the end and stays forward with all those, he can only run for 4 years. Because with the new law, he cannot be sworn in 3 times. Once he has completed the tenure of his principal, the late governor, now he can only run for 4 years. And the people in that region are saying, they do not want a government candidate that will only be able to run constitutionally for 4 years. But again, that's music to the other parts of Ondo State, like the central part that believe that they are the next. They believe that if a man will run for 4 years, it will make it easier. The thing will go around very, very quickly. So that now also be in favor of the sitting government. Now, if we work by the natural progression of things, that the one who is incumbent, the man who has power, who is in power will win, then you say the sitting governor will likely carry the day. But for me, I have said when it comes to the APC, and its politics, never say never. Anything can happen, especially if the other frontline candidates decide to form a merger, very, very good, and then decide to work together against the sitting government. Then there could be surprises. But if none of that happens, there is every likelihood that with the momentum the sitting governor has gathered already, that we might eventually come out of.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Henry. You've obviously opened the conversation up. While you were talking now, you talked about Abuja connection. You talked about the mode of primaries. You also talked about zoning. The fact that, that if it goes to this particular zone, if the governor eventually picks up the ticket and wins the election in November, he won't do more than 4 years. And the people of that axis want to have 8 years in office, which changes the narrative a little bit. There's also the whole conversation around, I was endorsed by the late governor, I'm the late governor's choice, and also the Akinyode family. And when I mean family now, it's not just talking about Madam Betty or Jide and all of that. It's political structure. that has really felt like Aiyedatiwa was not particularly loyal to the governor even while he was sick. All of these factors would play. But let's keep all of those aside. The mode of primaries tomorrow will play a very significant role on what Ondo State people would get as the candidates that will run for the election. There's the PDP in the state. There's also some other political parties, SDP, Alliance for Democracy. There is also NMPP along that way. But what do you think, or how important is direct or indirect primaries would be to the choice of the APC tomorrow? We know how the direct works, we know how the delegate list issue works, and we know all of these calculations. But in terms of who flies the flag of the party in November, how vital is the mode of primaries tomorrow going to be?
Yes, thank you. There was a time we hardly considered the direct primary mode, but it appears that in recent times now we're seeing the APC adopt the direct primary. We saw them do it in Lagos, famously when
former Governor
Ambode was ousted, and we are seeing it in Edo State. Now, talking about that kind of system favors, but I can't particularly see, because these things are not even transparent enough. How many people are registered? Maybe they have the total number of card carrying members of APC. How many of them local government? Do we know the numbers? I'm not sure these things have been opened up for the press to see or monitor. Like, do we have more members in the southern Central district than the central or than the north? All these things will weigh heavily, because these candidates also have their basis of strength. They have places where they are very, very, very strong. And so, most of them are all coming from the South Senatorial District.
Exactly.
And so, yes. And so, there could be a situation where they will split, their votes will be splitted largely in the South Senatorial District. We will now rely largely on how influential they are in other zones. And the Akete political family is very strong in the north. If you start from upwards, the Akete political family is very strong there. So I wouldn't know how these votes are. Again, with the rulings of the electoral tribunal last year, they have told us that how a political party conducts its primaries is strictly an internal affair. For all I care, they could change it again tomorrow. INEC is even just there as just witnesses. Whatever the party decides to do is strictly an internal affair. Whether they decide as won the most number of votes is strictly their affair. But again, they run a very serious risk of somebody influential decamping. I know we have seen this thing happen before, where somebody feels dissatisfied with the outcome of the party
and they
moves to another party, and you don't rule it out as it stands in the politics. Anything can happen along that line. But I know that the leaders of the APC will be very keen to stop that, or a situation where whoever emerging will be divisive enough that some people will decide that rather than allow this man win an election, we'll go and support his opponent. We have seen this also play out politically. It could also happen, and that could be an advantage to other political parties who are able to field the candidate that might also appeal more to the people. So for me, APC also has to be very careful, because it's the first party holding its primary. Everybody is on the lookout, seeing how they go about it. But I also know that the APC also has its mechanism to ensure that when primaries like this are held, the reconciliation to reconcile disgruntled members or NAPI members, and to ensure that the party presents one face, one voice, and is united as matches up towards the main polls. But I need to tell you, the bitterness, especially between some of the leading candidates in this primary, is
crazy.
It's a very unique one. Very unique one. One will wonder what would have been the cause for that. And you will wonder how these guys will be able to move on together as one, irrespective of whatever the outcome of the primaries are.
Okay, Mr. Henry, A couple of days back, I had Mr. Kayode Fasua join me on the show, the State Director of Information for Local Network Campaign Organization, the Food Soldiers, whatever. And he talked about the fact that the primaries of APC is a family affair, that it's a family business. And I asked him if there are possibilities of consensus or people stepping down, looking at the fact that everyone that picked up from were cleared by the committee that screened all of the aspirants. And I'm putting it to you as well. I know you have your ears on the ground in Ondo State. You know a lot of people getting you information. Perhaps in the last 24 hours or thereabouts, have you heard anything that could, indicate that there could be some stepping down or some alliances or some consensus arrangement ahead of tomorrow's primaries? Or you think everything would still go on with all of the candidates or the aspirants tomorrow?
Thank you very much. Again, unlike maybe some of the past primaries that I've had in recent times, where maybe 24 hours to the election, you have been hearing rumors that this person has stepped down, or you have had declarations, official declarations that certain persons have stepped down. We have not had anything. And it appears that it's directly from the playbook of the Jagaban himself last year it was last year, 2 years ago, in 2022, when the APC also held the primaries sometimes around June or July for the presidency, where most of the surprises that happened was not happening on the day of the primary. So we keep their cards very close to their chest. And particularly, the idea is to bring down somebody who is so big, who is so strong, to ensure that that person does not have any chance to recover, any chance to offset any shock. If anything happens 24 hours before the day, somebody can still readjust and realign. The official, it might just be the contestants telling their supporters and people, don't vote for me, vote for this person. My nomination form money, and then I'll get certain appointments, you get certain appointments. But again, another interesting thing is that most of the currently elected political office holders representing APC in Ondo State know that they run a very serious risk of not getting re-elected if the governorship candidate that announced is not in their camp. And they know that, because the truth is, the person who wants to be the next senator for the various for each of the central districts is already warming up with his preferred governorship candidate. Knowing that if this man emerges, I'm going to be the candidate. And so that is what makes it much more heated. And interestingly, now we have a certain senator is contesting, and so for me it's a very, very, very dicey thing. But like I told somebody very recently, whatever happens we also lie largely on the large activeness of the sitting government. It must not give an impression that if he emerges, that there will be a significant overhaul, that many people will lose out. For me, that is a very dangerous one. If people realize that if they emerge, that a lot of them are not coming back, a lot of them are not going to be relevant anymore politically, they will do everything to ensure you don't emerge. But if you give an impression that yes, you are ready to make concessions, to negotiate, to share the spoils of power, then it stands very strong chance.
Okay, Mr. Harry, there is Senator Jimoh Ibrahim, there is Olusola SAN, there's Mayowa Akinfolari, there's Wale Akintenrewa. I mean, these are leading aspirants, and of course there is the governor. You want to look at the grassroots mobilization. He closed up his rally yesterday at the home state of the immediate past governor, which is Owo. I mean, we saw the large turnout, and sometimes these rallies can be misleading because almost the same people that will turn up for Olusola today that will turn up for Jimoh Ibrahim tomorrow. It's all about what people are getting. But I listed these 4 people. From my stats and my research, these are the closest to the sitting government in terms of influence and grassroots energy. But the APC in Ondo State is reported to have about 171,922 registered members that would decide who becomes the governorship candidate of the party tomorrow. You put Jimoh Ibrahim as a serving senator. You look at Olusola, grassroots man, you call him a serial aspirant and candidate. You understand? There's also Mayowa Akinfolari, the former commissioner for finance in the state. There is Wale Akintenrewa, which also has his own grassroots within the state. But do you think having the power of incumbency gives the governor any, please, undue advantage in quotes ahead of tomorrow's primaries? We've seen the mobilization. I mean, there was the video of his campaign train that I saw, the convoys in the almost 100 vehicles, and sometimes this large crowd often sway people when it comes to elections. Some people will say, I don't want to waste my vote, let me vote for someone that is leading. So on the space, it looks like the sitting governor has that advantage. But do you also subscribe to that school of thought, or you think it's open primaries, it could go either ways?
Yeah, ordinarily, if it was a governor who was running for a second term, you would have felt that he had the political structure of the state, the party completely under control. But this is not the case. This is just an incumbent governor of a few months ago. And that means that in the scheme of things, politically, as far as the party is concerned in the state, he wouldn't be able to have all the political structure in his hands within a few months. And the mere fact that his political history also shows that he is not being a very all-conquering seasoned politician. He had contested the House of Reps and he failed to win until he was running mate to the late governor. And so these things give his opponents such confidence that this man will be defeated. That's the truth. Many of them also feel that they are ahead of him politically. But you also know in politics there is no aid. If providence and divine omen or something, somebody emerges, then he becomes leader. We have seen former President Goodluck Jonathan, from being president, emerged to become president. And there are people who he couldn't elevate their shoes politically when he was still deputy governor years ago. So for now, some people are trying hard to come to terms with the fact that this man is an incumbent governor. They believe that just being a governor a few months cannot all of a sudden mean that we have the political structure of the state at hand, and they still feel that they still have to run a very strong chance of defeating him. But if he was 4 years as an incumbent governor, it's very likely that the chairman, speaker of the party will be in his political camp, everybody will be in his political camp. But as it stands now, we can't say that is the case. But again, his name is Lucky. And the way luck works for these people coming to politics whose names are Lucky and Luck and the rest.
We had good luck at some point also.
Yes. So you can't rule anything out. So that's why I feel it makes it very dicey. So whether his power of incumbency can do much remains to be seen. But I tell you, his opponents will tell you that it counts for nothing. We have had Jimoh Ibrahim say publicly that it counts for nothing. That as far as they're concerned, there will be shockers on that day. But again, he has been gaining momentum. I must say that he has been gaining momentum.
Mr. Henry, you made mention of Senator Jimoh Ibrahim now. He's also a serial contestant. Remember, at some point on the ticket of the NNPP, he contested to be the governor of the state. And NNPP, thank you. And he's always been around the political space. Now he's in the Senate. And people are saying money for money, influence for influence, Jimoh Ibrahim can match the sitting governor. But we'll come back and talk about that. But ultimately, whoever wins the primaries tomorrow would certainly get into the November 2024 election against the PDP. there is Ebisheni, there is this a member that represented House of Representative, one of the riverine areas. There are quite a few people with some good credentials coming into this contest. But what do you think should be the major campaign focus of all of the candidates after the primaries? And this is what I mean. I'm from Ondo State. I schooled in Adekunle Ajasin University. I understand what the state wants. Each time I have anything to bring into the state, I look at the fact that the state is an oil producing state. I match the revenue that the states may be getting, especially with the removal of subsidy. That means governors are getting more money. But you cannot really match those indices with what we have on ground. So what do you think should be the priority of all of these candidates after the primaries are done, and what do you think Ondo State people are really looking for?
Okay, so let me start. Well, number one, now that the general posture of the Ondo State people is that governorship, the power is going to the south. It's a priority that the South Central District must have power supply. For 15 years almost now, there are children who are born who never knows what it means for us to go to up NEPA, like we say. They never seen that before. They don't understand what it means. And that is shameful for us. So I think that now that we have somebody from their town, from their side, whoever emerges eventually at the general polls must see it as a point of duty to ensure that life is restored to the South Central District. Number two is what you mentioned. You can hardly feel that on those things are not producing state. I never always feel that, because it appears we do not feel the impact that the state is not producing state. If you look at the quality of infrastructure we have in the state, it's nothing to write home about. And those things has vast potentials to be doing big things. We expect the other state to do big things, not to do normal or average things. We expect them to do big things. And we hope that we can start seeing those ambitious projects like the top one that late governor was talking about. We hope that we see this things come to realization. We hope that the Olokolapit trade zone that is jointly owned by Ondo and Ogun State, but now largely appears to be, anytime you hear Olokolapit trade zone now, it's just the Ogun State aspect. Appears to be functional. On those things, we are not hearing enough about that. We will expect to hear more about that. Okay, you need to look at the quality of roads in the state. I think we understand needs a facelift. Again, if you also look at the state of the health sector in those states, it is bad, really bad, very bad. I know that there are plans now by the sitting governor to recruit people into the health sector and even into the educational sector. Side by side, I hope these things, whether it's planning to come in and people that. Then lastly, Ondo State cannot run away from agriculture. This should be the leading state in Nigeria as far as cocoa production is concerned. But sadly, this state has gone back as far as cocoa production is concerned. We must have robust plans for the people to go back to farming and for agricultural industries again to be repopulated in the state, so that we can begin to look like what we used to be under the Ajasin era. So we want the real cocoa revolution not to be in Cross River. We want it to be in Ondo State. Ondo State has much more potential in cocoa production than Cross River. So I think these things should be on the front burner for whoever is coming on to the government.
Okay, Mr. Henry, before I let you go, after the primaries, we've seen it play out. In Kogi State, the candidate of the SDP in the November 2023 election was a strong card-carrying member of the APC, but he left as a fallout of the primaries because there were insinuations that the former governor, Yaya Bello, imposed Usman Ododo on them. So we've always seen people falling out of their parties after the primaries if it doesn't go, the way they expect. And the Ondo State case is even dicey. because other parties have not had their primaries. So it's probably an opportunity for, if you lost in the primaries of Ondo State APC, you can easily align with other parties and whatever it is. But how sure are we in respect to where these aspirants would go to after the primaries? If Jimmy Ibrahim wins tomorrow, what happens to the sitting governor? If WG=SOᴛsAᴘᴘ wins tomorrow, Jimmy Ibrahim is a serving senator on the platform of the APC. If Wale Akintayo wins tomorrow, WG=SOᴛsAᴘᴘ was at some point, in fact, against Aketi. There were rumors that the current president supported WG=SOᴛsAᴘᴘ when he ran on the platform of the Alliance for Democracy in the state. So do we think a lot of these aspirants may want to test their political capacity and strength on the platform of other parties if the primaries does not favor them tomorrow? Or you think the APC has a mechanism of keeping everybody happy after the primaries?
Yeah, thank you very much. I said earlier that there's a very strong possibility of the campaign. And that's why if you find out now in Ondo State, even especially in PDP, the idea of who is running and who is not running in PDP is very, very quiet. And that can tell you that PDP also is also on the lookout. There's a great possibility that they could accept a look to campaign as things go. Mind you, on Highness timetable, 27th of April, which is next week Saturday, is the last day
for all the candidates.
Yes, for all the political parties, for all the political parties. I think PDP is on the 25th of April. Yes, so that means that if anybody is disgruntled tomorrow, it still has 4 to 5 days to salvage his political situation. I think that there are just maybe 2 or 3 people presently now who is running in APC who could realistically become and be very strong when they become. For instance, if the scenario plays out where the sitting governor does not emerge, I think it's a no-brainer. He will automatically become. He has the resources, and some will tell you that he's much more popular outside of his party than within his party.
Wow.
Some will tell you that even the average people person in those states like his success story, they like his story, they like his slogan, and people are always carried about by all these fancy appellations. So
like Emiloko.
Yes. So you would expect that if he doesn't get what he wants, he could become. Another person is also very strong who has the force to do that. He's probably the former finance commissioner. He has what it takes to do that also. And the last person I feel that can do that is ᴘᴜᴜ. He has done it before. It's not the first time he's doing it. So if that happens this time around, I wouldn't also be surprised. But for those who are already elected, who are elected officials, who are holding office, political offices, I do not see them decamping. Because again, that will bring to them another set of challenge. I'm talking of the senators or the House of Friends members. But I think that one certain outcome, if the sitting governor does not emerge, there's very likely that there will be decamping, and that will further eat up the policy. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Henry Oloni Moyo. I got it right this time around. Okay, thank you very much for joining me on the show today, and of course the entire Lagos appreciates your commitment, and most especially on the very short notice. But I hope you'll be on ground in Akure tomorrow.
I'm on ground in Akure.
Okay, so you would certainly be my contact person to give us more updates on what will be happening on the field during the primaries tomorrow.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Henry, for being with us on the show today. Thank you, and have a very good evening, and stay safe out there tomorrow.
Thank you.
We'll take a very quick break. By 5 o'clock, we'll take the headline news. We'll also pay some bills, and then when we'll come back, we'll pick your calls and also read your messages. There are messages dropping on Facebook already, facebook.com/mainland 98.3 FM. I'm seeing Adeolugboyega. Okay, I'm also seeing Michael Urias. I'll read your messages. Keep dropping them. And of course, 091 3600 04 98.3 I just finished speaking with Mr. Henry Olonimoyo. He's a public affairs analyst and, of course, someone that is really keen about political development and activities in Ondo State. He just told us what we'd expect tomorrow, projections saying that the governor may not particularly have all of the clout that you would need to win the primaries. I mean, that's very rare for a sitting governor, but you understand the circumstances at which he became the sitting governor. When his principal died, he got sworn in, and that was just about a few months ago. Well, you can always trust us on Mainland 98.3 FM to keep you abreast of everything you need to know in respect to politics, conversation around development and governance in Nigeria. We'll take a quick break. On the turn of 5 o'clock, the program returns. I'll pick your calls. I'll also read your messages, so don't go nowhere.
Mainland 98.3 FM. Don't touch the dial. 98.3 FM. Don't touch the dial.
Headline news on 98.3 Mainland FM.
Good evening. Headline news on Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Omobola Sandra. Delta Monarch declared wanted over Okwama killings. Regain calls for calm over technical identified. Nigerian chess master Onokoya in New York in Guinness. In sports, Zidane said to break Manchester United hearts with latest managerial move. That's the headline news on Mainland FM. Details at 5:30.
Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos.
Meals have a way of taking us on a journey, and when you add plenty of vegetables like efo, ugu, and season with the rich taste of Knorr seasoning cubes, even better.
So, go ahead and elevate your meals with more vegetables and the rich taste of Knorr cubes. Today, eat for good.
New Lafarge water shield cement now confirm. Number one waterproof cement for Nigeria. Ogbonge cement for waterlogged areas. Number one waterproof cement for Nigeria. New Lafarge water shield cement number one. New Lafarge waterproof cement now confirm. Good full stop for water wahala. With Lafarge water shield cement, water to collect. If water jam house, foundation and basement in God, no shame. Ogbonge cement for waterlogged areas. Number one waterproof cement for Nigeria. Lafarge cement. New Lafarge water shield cement and confirm.
Put full stop for water wahala.
Who takes a plate of jollof rice to the next level of goodness? Is it when it is cooked with Knorr seasoning cubes for that sumptuous taste? Or when you serve it with correct Nigerian salad, cabbage, carrot, lettuce, and a bit of kidney beans?
It's both. Season your jollof with the rich taste of Knorr cubes and serve with plenty of vegetables. So, go ahead and elevate your meals. Today, eat for good.
New Lafarge water shield cement now confirm. Number one waterproof cement for Nigeria. Ogbonge cement for waterlogged areas. Number one waterproof cement for Nigeria. New Lafarge water shield cement number one. New Lafarge waterproof cement now confirm. Good full stop for water wahala. With lavage water ships in May, water to collect. If water jam house, foundation and basement to call. Ogbonge cement for water long areas. Number one waterproof cement for Naija. Comfort cement. The Lafarge water shield cement and comfort.
Put full stop for water wahala.
To cook correct food, they always give me joy. That's why anytime when they cook like this, I they always season them with no cubes. Come add correct vegetables inside. Ugu, tatasheo, shombo, onions. No one will know they put. Now he make my pikin them, they always enjoy my cooking.
Daddy, I never will. I want more.
You see?
Sama all your food with correct vegetables. Come season them with no cubes for that to get delicious taste. Today, chop better.
Mainland 98.3 FM. Don't touch the dial. 98.3 FM. Don't touch the dial.
Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there is not. If there were,
In our quest to bring to the table issue-based conversation around nationhood and development, we have made 4 to 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday the perfect time to welcome you into the Situation Room as we continue to build the narrative about public service and accountability.
Mr. President, this Senate needs to know. Mr. President, this Senate needs to lend its voice to the plight of these people. Mr. President, there is nowhere I can say it except here. This is where I'm elected. If I cannot say these things on this floor, sir, I better resign and leave.
As elections give the citizens the chance to make their political decisions, constant demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us, man, there is nothing. We are starving. We should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. Join Opeyemi Akinyode as it takes to task seasoned analysts, opinion makers, business professionals, and politicians on issues around politics, policies, governance, and leadership. Every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial. Mainland 98.3 FM will welcome you your next as we discuss the situations.
Welcome back. We have about 20 minutes or thereabouts to say our goodbyes on the show for the week and of course for the day. It's been a very interesting conversation we've been having on the show today. I had Mr. Henry Olonimuyo joining me from Akure, the state capital of Ondo State, ahead of the APC primaries that would hold tomorrow. Yes, 16 aspirants, 15 including the sitting governor. The senator representing Ondo North, the immediate past commissioner for finance, the current member representing WG constituency, also the sitting governor is also there, the Alliance for Democracy gubernatorial candidates in the last election in the state, a lot of big wigs. In fact, the first and the only female SSG ever appointed in Ondo State is also in the mix. So there are a lot of people getting in tomorrow and trying to get as much as they can from the about 171,000 registered APC members in the state. It's an open primaries. It is not a delegate conversation, so it's open just like we saw it for the build up to the election of Governor Biodun Yebanji in Ekiti State. We also saw it played out in Osun State as well. We also saw it played out in Lagos State when the former governor Ambode was running on the primaries with the current governor, His Excellency Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. So it's certainly going to be open primaries in Ondo State tomorrow. It means there's nothing like doctored delegate list that would cause issues. But of course, Mr. Henry Olonimuyo really took us through that lane and what we should expect tomorrow. So let's talk. 091-3600-0410. Hello, good evening. Hello. Good to have you on the show. Your name and where you calling from?
Calling from my
from Aja. Your name?
Chooks calling from Aja.
Okay, Mr. Chooks calling from Aja. Go on.
I want to tell you that your station has done beautifully well.
Thank you.
And I've been watching monitoring the trajectory right from the federal. Because initially, I thought the last day that the former president Buhari did, because I'm somebody that is empirical in my conclusion and my judgment. Having seen Lagos Ibadan Expressway in the Newtown Beach that you do, I felt we are going to Dorado. But in recent times, and back of the present president is giving me another thought. When the man at the end of affairs, that used to be at the end of affairs at Kogi State, is being pursued like that, despite the effort and the money is spent to make sure that the present president come to play. And even the ordeal that the president chairman of APC is going through. And up to now, I cannot see the interference of Mr. President in all this matter. I want to say again. And I want to give it to your station for not meddling or interfering. Many stations are falling by the wayside. When it comes like tomorrow, there are still a lot of stations that have taken time. In Edo, there are still stations that took time. But you are balanced.
Thank you.
Because I want to tell you that the problem that we are having is majorly in the state.
Hello? Okay, I would appreciate if you can call back. I think the network disconnected our conversation at 0913-600-0410. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. This is Opeyemi.
Welcome on the show.
My name is WG I'm calling from Ojokoro area of Tóṣì. Okay. I don't live in Ondo State. People of Ondo State should choose who will do what they really need for themselves. So I wish them all the best of luck. But as much as I don't live in Ondo, if there is any problem in Ondo, it might affect Lagos State, which I am. That is where I will now lend my voice to the primary from APC tomorrow. If the people of APC thought that you have not done well, or it doesn't deserve to be a governorship aspirant of their party, they should decide tomorrow. And know that their decision, whatever decision they take tomorrow, will eventually affect them for another 4 or 8 years. What I mean by 4 or 8 years is that if you got the power for the first tenure, it's very difficult for them to wrestle that power from him.
But you know, the new law does not allow you to be sworn in 3 times.
Okay. I now get it. So, they sworn. Okay. So they should be very, very careful of this decision they are going to take tomorrow. You bear with it for another 4 years.
Thank you.
I give them all the best of luck. Opeyemi, go to come on this station and say you are the best. Go to another station and say that station is the best. Be careful.
Of course, Mr. Durujai, thank you very much. But hey, it's going to be very interesting tomorrow in Ondo State, trust me. And of course, by Sunday at 6 p.m., you will get more comprehensive details of whatever the outcome of tomorrow's primaries in the states would be. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
You're welcome.
You let us know that we are from Ondo,
and then you are proud of your state.
Yeah,
I love that.
I should be. Even though I was born,
I love that.
Even though I was born and I've been in Lagos all my life, but of course, I'm from
no. You are partly Lagosian and Odo partly Lagosian.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thank my name. Iṛsᴛ from Ojo in Lagos.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. Opeyemi, I said something 3 days ago when you brought the topic, when you invited one of the aspirant spokesperson. You understand? I said Ondo people, their way of voting
is different.
It's quite different. And I said Ondo people, they don't go with party. Maybe it's because of their level of education or exposure, I don't know. The reason behind that, we were talking about Ondo and the kitchen. They always go for an individual when it comes to popular election. You understand? But I'm an APC member. I want to beg my party visibly, if at all they are listening to mainland FM in Ondo State, that they should just be very, very careful. The leadership of APC at Abuja should talk to those guys. I know, and we've been in arms. Some people might step down tonight. Ondo people even get that agidi, they might not even step down. You understand? So, but I'm just using this medium to appeal to them. They should please allow peace to reign. They should make it the best candidate should win, so that the president that will govern Ondo State in the next 4 years will come from APC. Like I said, Ondo people don't go with party, they go with individual. If APC make mistake this morning tomorrow, it can cost them. They should be very careful. Everything should go peacefully. They should not shed everybody's blood. APC is a party that will rule Ondo in the next 4 years. If our party gets it right tomorrow.
Thank you.
Good evening. God bless Ondo State. God bless my dear Lagos State. And God bless Nigeria.
And God bless you too. Thank you very much for your optimism about APC winning the election in November. I'm sure the conversation would change after all the political parties have concluded their primaries. The deadline remains 28th of April according to INEC timetable. So by then all of the parties would have concluded their primaries and they will be able to focus on candidates and not aspirants now. Hello. You're welcome. Ambassador Musa.
On Friday.
TGIF.
Opeyemi, the other guys he commend mainland FM. He deserves it. Mainland deserves the commendation.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm joining my word with that guy and give it to mainland FM. Now, Opeyemi, we are the taxi. We enter many radio stations in short terminal. So we can decide to give to mainland FM. We deserve it. But one thing I want mainland to champion, including your Opeyemi. How do you unite Nigeria? How do you unite everybody? Me, I'm a APC member. I'm not your enemy of Labour Party or PDP. We are not a Labour. We should stop division. This division will take us nowhere. We are friends. We want better Nigeria. Opeyemi, we want better Nigeria. If I believe this person will make Nigeria great. You have it that this person will make Nigeria great. So why can't you join our thoughts together that whoever we want Nigeria to be great, this should be an assignment for every one of us. People that each other, please make sure up to one another. We are from the same family, one Nigeria. When Nigeria is great, we are also to enjoy it. Please, I want mainland to shackle this faith that we are one brother in progress. That is that. I know we do that, and I trust you. Now, my comment this evening. Now, we are going to the primary in Ondo State tomorrow. Opeyemi, after the primaries, a winner in March. What next? When are we going to wake up to put these people on their toes? Look what is going on in Kogi right now. The sitting governor tries to guide, cover the Yᴏᴜᴛ. Now, and the people of Kogi did say nothing. The state assembly do nothing. And this is offense. When you go to there, according to the constitution, it's 5 years imprisonment. Now, what can people of Kogi wake up and say, our governor, you have done wrong. All the assembly assembly member, we're going to hold power meeting with you. Go and tell that governor, stop being weary. What he did. Look up at me, my cry this afternoon that nobody could be. If he called the assembly member to order to check with the governor, he has put on the state. Up at not going to continue like this. When are we going to continue like this? When are we going to get this right? I'm crying.
Thank you,
because we talk about this politician. He's not doing what are you doing as a person?
Thank you.
Why do you hold this to account? Governor could be impeached. You know, people could this come out today say the assembly member, this governor has done, let's apologize or impeach him. You can do it.
Thank you.
We can do it for why, my people, Nigeria?
Thank
Why?
you, Ambassador
Why?
Thank you.
I'm not happy.
Thank you. Enjoy your weekend and try to be happy. Let me quickly stop on Facebook. Michael Uriah says there's no contest tomorrow. In tomorrow's primaries, the power of incumbency is very huge in terms of mobilization at the grassroots, state funds to disperse recklessly and all. Mr. Goodluck Jonathan lost to President Buhari, and that is not a typical example because he did not use power resources at his disposal of security agencies. And Mr. Loko will become victorious in tomorrow's primary irrespective of whether he has presidential support or not. Adelubega, well done. Okay, thank you very much. Dayo Dada says, I want to give tribute to the late veteran journalist, the late Rotimi Sankore, a brilliant, well-articulated, focus-driven data analyst and human rights activist who says it and is not hypocritical about things. But he says it as it is. Okay. Thank you, Dayo Dada. On the issue of former Kogi State Governor refusing to honor EFCC invitation, it is very shameful of him to have acted that way. That's from Kabiru Adegbero. 091-3600-0410. Hello, good evening. Hello, are you with me now?
Sorry, good evening.
It's fine, Pastor Ambrose. Good evening.
I didn't know you are. Okay.
I'm with you.
You see, in all of this, you know what pains me? All of these politicians, it's all about themselves. And another thing I discover is that at the end of the day, they will do everything possible to mobilize the people. You know what somebody told me today? A former governor of Lagos State, a policeman worked with him. He said if you see the money they were always carrying, he said, okay, one of the drivers said they should shoot him on the leg and say the money is lost. He go and treat himself. These people, they have so much money, Nigerian money at their disposal. And we keep on voting, we are not seeing the dividend of democracy. And that's why these people are ready to do anything whatsoever. Look at what is happening in, now, okay? This Usman Ododo, what, at the end of the day, he will still fall out. Maybe because they are cousins. Look at Kaduna today. Look at Rivers. Every other place. And yet, these governors still want to choose their successor so that they can be their godfather. Okay, have you seen any godfather in work concerning governors? None has ever worked. And I'm not, economically, I'm not giving it to Tinubu. But Tinubu is the only politician in the south here, I don't know about the north, who has been able to be a politician. He knows when to shift his sword. See, okay, let me go back to Ondo, because Ondo is adjacent to Egusi. And that's your, and I've done some roads in Ondo during the time of Olusegun Obasanjo. I want to tell, I think Ayedatiwa is from that part of.
Hello, Pastor Ambrose. If you can, I still stop by the call. Hello, good evening.
Good evening to you, Opeyemi.
Prince Wise.
Yes. Maybe you always say today is free mic.
No.
No more free mic again.
There's open forum.
Open forum.
Exactly.
I important us before now. People know this today now. Theory. Okay. I want to talk about the Kogi State Governor.
Please go on.
The man who called himself white elephant is now turned to white cat. The only white elephant I know now that's so strong now is Wike. Wike who passed through everybody and scored 2-0.
That's the man we can say he will wild the elephant. He begin to decide. But you see this former police governor, in fact, if they arrest him now, they should treat him like a former criminal. Because we don't have anything of comfort. Why are you running away? The former governor, for that matter, 8 years. This man is disgracing the youth. And now, the money you cover you before, the expect you that you stole 80 billion. And the present governor of Kogi State, I'm really sorry for him. He's finding somebody who stole the money you are going to use to defend the state. What is going on? It's a pity. And then finally, the PDP, the brand of their meeting, their option they follow now for me, I love it. They can settle internally. Because the moment they say they want to transfer WİKİ, they can make it more stronger than some of for the party.
Thank you,
Where are people then? So that's a round of people should stay up. Let it extremist because we want to the south. Good evening to you.
Thank you very much, Prince Wise. The APC zona caucus meeting had thrown up a lot of conversation in the last 24 hours. Questions were asked that why would a party member serving in the cabinet of another party be allowed into the ESCO caucus meeting of the party? That's in reference to Yᴏᴜᴛᴜ. And there's also the conversation between Senator Dino Melaye and the immediate past governor of Benue State, Otom. And Dino Melaye called Otom out openly and said, hey, you supported the president for his second term ahead of 2027 election. What are you doing at this meeting? And a lot of people had asked questions. Who would be declared as the political leader of the main opposition party, the PDP? Is it going to be IṛsᴛSoɁ or is it going to be, Samuel Otom? Who would be the leader of the PDP? God willing, God sparing our lives, on Sunday, 6 to 8 p.m., WG=Ṣóhùnmí should be with us on Political Roundtable. He's also an aspirant for the chairmanship position of the People's Democratic Party ahead of whenever they choose to call the convention. Hello, good evening. My last caller for the week.
Hello, good evening, sir.
You're welcome.
How are you, my brother?
I'm good, and you?
Let me quickly make my point. I'm not happy with the way about that for life. They praise WİKİ. Atiku and WİKİ, they are not a group when we are talking of politics. Where is his big thing when Atiku is contesting for vice president? So there is a similarity in politics. So they are just looking at me as hooligans. That is it.
Okay, is that all? Okay, thank you very much. I guess that was the message that the caller wants to pass across. But hey, the twist around the APC or the PDP conversation is not ending anytime soon, and trust me, we're keeping our fingers crossed. But I want to use this opportunity before I sign out on the show to also join the entire world to celebrate a young Nigerian, Tunde Odukoya. I had a conversation with him a couple of weeks back in church, and you just see a man that is so passionate about giving back to the society. Chess in slum, and he's currently at the Madison Square in New York, trying to break a record for the longest marathon chess game without losing. He's done 48 hours the last time I checked. And we wish you well. Tunde, we're proud of you. Nigerian youth are happy with what you're doing, and more importantly, those kids that you want to have a future for them, those kids that you've done everything to constantly give them a better life and a better future. We're all supporting you, we're all rooting for you, and we know that you're going to break that record and even set further records that will be difficult for anybody to break. So big shout out to you, Tunde, all the way from Mainland FM to New York. I hope this message reaches you. Well, the size of the package on the show today has been an amazing time on radio. All through the week, we've had guests to talk about a lot of things. Gospel in our life, Monday, 4 p.m. I will be back to take you through issues of politics, and by then it will have been done with the primaries of the APC in Ondo State, or perhaps there will be more news in respect to the former governor of Kogi State. Well, he's on the run. That's why the EFCC declared him wanted. My name is Opeyemi. I can enjoy the rest of your weekend, and by 5:30 the full news will come through, and by 6 o'clock I will be back for Sport Cruise on Mainland 98.3 FM. Aston Villa are the only English team left in any European competition right now. Arsenal has been knocked out. Liverpool, Manchester City and West Ham United. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll be back by 6 o'clock for Sport Cruise.
Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there's not. If there were,
in our quest to bring to the table issue-based conversation around nationhood and development, we have made 4 to 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday the perfect time to welcome you into the Situation Room as we continue to build the narrative about public service.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM.
This is the Global News on 98.3 Mainland FM.
Good evening. Welcome to the Global News at 5:30.